walking across your living room, just heading to the kitchen, nothing fancy, when suddenly, your knee gives out. You catch yourself on the armrest, heart pounding, confused. You didn't trip. There was no obstacle. But your legs? They felt weak. And you tell yourself, maybe I just stood up too fast. You shake it off. But deep down, it scares you, doesn't it? Because that wasn't the first time. Last week, when you got out of bed, you felt the same thing. Heaviness in your thighs, that weird wobble in your calves. It passed, sure, but it keeps happening. And here's the thing no one tells you. What if that's not just aging? What if that's your body's quiet way of saying, hey, we're losing strength. We're wasting away. I know, it sounds dramatic. But listen, every year after the age of 60, your muscles start to shrink. And if you ignore the signs, that slow shrinkage, it steals more than your strength. It takes your balance, your independence, your dignity. No one wants to think about that. No one wants to imagine needing help just to get off the toilet or climb into bed. But if your legs start failing you, that's the road you're on. But it doesn't have to be that way. Because there's something, one thing, you can eat first thing in the morning that could slow this muscle wasting. And no, it's not some expensive supplement. It's simple. It's natural. Plus, I'll walk you through 5 warning signs your body gives when your muscles are fading faster than they should. Some of these signs, you'd never connect them to muscle loss. So I need you to stay with me to the end, because this could mean the difference between staying mobile or being stuck in a wheelchair before you're ready. And I want that for no one. If you're over 60, or you've got a loved one who is, this is for you. So do me a favor. Drop a comment right now that says I'm here. Let me know you're ready to learn how to fight back against muscle loss, right here on Elderly Spring. And hey, while you're at it, tap that subscribe button. Because every week we're sharing real practical ways to protect your health, your mind, and your strength as you age. All right, let's dive in. Because those shaky legs, they're trying to tell you something important. Let me ask you, when was the last time you got out of bed, stood up, and your legs just felt heavy, like you're dragging bags of sand with every step? It's not painful, not really, but it slows you down, makes you pause for a second. You tell yourself, maybe I didn't sleep right, or maybe it's just the cold morning air. But deep down, you know, something feels off. That sensation, that heaviness in your legs first thing in the morning, it's not just stiffness, it's your muscles quietly wasting away. There's actually a name for it. It's called sarcopenia. A fancy word, sure, but all it means is your muscles are shrinking. And it starts as early as your 50s. From there, every year you lose up to 2% of your muscle mass if you're not careful. Now combine that with a slow morning routine, a bit of stiffness, and before you know it, what feels like a little heaviness is actually your body waving a red flag. But here's what most people get wrong. They think, I just need to move around a bit more during the day and I'll be fine. But your muscles repair themselves the most, right after you wake up. That's why your first meal of the day is so critical. You need protein early in the morning to wake up those muscle fibers, to tell your body, hey, it's time to rebuild. Think Greek yogurt topped with almonds, or a couple of boiled eggs with whole grain toast. You don't need a protein shake if you don't like them, just whole, nourishing food. Because if you wait until lunch or dinner, you've already wasted precious recovery hours. And if you're feeling that heaviness regularly, that's your first sign. But if on top of that you've been noticing odd bruises popping up on your legs without remembering how you got them, well, that's your second warning. Imagine this. You're getting ready for the day, and there's a dark purple bruise on your thigh, or behind your knee. You can't recall bumping into anything. No accident, nothing. It's easy to brush it off. You might think, oh, my skin's just thinner now, or I must have hit something without noticing. But no, there's more to it. When your muscles start to waste away, they leave your blood vessels exposed. Normally, strong muscles act like a cushion around those vessels, protecting them. But when the muscle layer gets thinner, even the slightest pressure can cause bruising. And here's where people go wrong. They blame it solely on the skin. Yes, skin thins with age, but the deeper issue is the muscle underneath. To fix this, you need to feed your body what it needs to keep those tissues resilient. Leafy greens like spinach are rich in vitamin K, which helps your blood vessels stay strong and flexible. And collagen, whether from bone broth or supplements, helps keep your connective tissues tough enough to handle daily wear. Because if your legs are both heavy and bruising easily, the weakness is setting in deeper than you think. And the next thing that tends to follow? Balance issues. Have you ever caught yourself stumbling just from turning too quickly? You might say, "Oh, I'm just being clumsy today." But truthfully, it's often a loss of strength in the quadriceps, the calves, even the hips. Your leg muscles do more than move you. They're also sensors. They send signals to your brain about your position, your stability. When those muscles are weak, the signals get fuzzy. That's when a simple pivot on your heel can send you off balance. And in older adults, one misstep can lead to a fall. And let me tell you, a fall changes everything. A hip fracture, a broken ankle, those injuries steal independence faster than any disease. The sad part is, many blame inner ear problems or dizziness. And yes, sometimes that's the cause, but very often, it's just weak legs. What can you do? Start small. Chair squats, where you sit and stand from a sturdy chair, can help rebuild that strength. Or calf raises, just rising onto your toes and back down. A few sets a day can reignite the connection between your legs and your brain. And please, hydrate. Dehydration makes muscles weaker and more prone to cramping, which throws off your balance even more. But what if I told you that sometimes the warning sign doesn't even show up in your legs at all? It shows up in your waistline. You might notice your pants are getting looser. You're dropping weight, but instead of feeling healthier, you feel fragile. You might even hear friends say, "Wow, you're losing weight. You look great." But secretly, you feel weaker. This is a big one. As your muscles waste away, you burn fewer calories. So your body starts shrinking, not from fat loss, but muscle loss. And that's dangerous, because losing muscle means losing strength, losing energy, and speeding up the decline of your metabolism. Families often celebrate the weight loss, thinking it's a good thing. But in the elderly, sudden weight loss is almost always a bad sign. What's the fix? Make every meal count. Don't just eat to feel full, eat to nourish. Protein-rich foods, sure, but also B vitamins. B vitamins keep your energy pathways alive and help your body use the protein you're eating to build muscle instead of storing fat. A simple smoothie with banana, milk, a spoonful of peanut butter, and a sprinkle of oats can fuel your body for the day without feeling heavy. And that brings us to the final warning sign. Exhaustion. Not the "I've had a long day" kind. I'm talking about the kind where you vacuum one room and you're ready for a nap. Or you climb one flight of stairs and you're breathing heavy. That is not just age. That is muscle atrophy in action. You see, muscles are your body's energy engines. When they weaken, everything takes more effort. And the worst mistake people make? They rest more to recover. I get it. You're tired, so you sit down. You figure you'll regain your energy. But the longer you sit, the weaker your muscles get. It's a vicious cycle. Instead, move a little every day. You don't need to join a gym. Just a short walk around the house, some light stretches, moving your legs intentionally. That's all it takes to spark muscle memory again. Because here's the truth, your muscles want to work for you. They're just waiting for you to wake them up again. So, if you've noticed any of these signs, heavy legs, bruises, balance issues, a shrinking waist, or exhaustion after simple tasks, don't wait. Because the longer you do nothing, the harder it becomes to come back from it. But here's the good news. Knowing these signs, That's the first step. What you choose to do next. That's where your strength truly begins. It's a painful thing, isn't it? Watching someone you love, someone who used to be so full of life, so capable, slowly become a shadow of who they used to be. You see it in the way they sit a little longer before getting up, the way they avoid stairs or ask for help when they never used to. That spark, that confidence, fading. And deep down, you worry. You wonder. How long before they can't walk on their own? How long before a fall leaves them bedbound for good? That's a heavy thought to carry. But I need you to hear me. It doesn't have to be that way. Because weakness, frailty, it's not just some automatic part of aging. Not if you catch it early. Not if you do something about it now. And here's the truth. You don't need to wait for a doctor's warning. You don't need to wait for a fall or a scare or a hospitalization to wake you up. You can act today, right now. You've already got the most powerful tool in your hands, awareness. You know the signs now. The heavy legs in the morning, the strange bruises, the stumbling, the shrinking waist, the exhaustion after basic tasks. These aren't just random things to brush off. These are your body's way of waving its hand saying, "Help me, don't ignore me." And the first step? Start simple. Tomorrow morning, don't skip breakfast. Make it count. Add protein to your first meal of the day. It can be as easy as a boiled egg, some nuts, or even a slice of whole grain bread with peanut butter. Something to wake those muscles up and tell them, "We're not done yet." Then move. Stretch your legs. Walk to the mailbox and back. March in place during your favorite TV show. You don't need to run a marathon. You just need to remind your muscles that they still have work to do. And if you've got a loved one over 60, encourage them gently. Because here's the hopeful part. Muscle memory is real. Even after years of weakness, your body remembers how to build strength. It just needs a little help, a little patience. So don't give up. Don't let the calendar dictate your strength. Because aging doesn't have to mean surrender. It doesn't have to mean sitting on the sidelines watching life pass you by. With the right nutrition, the right movement, and the right mindset, you, or your loved one, can stay standing, walking, and living with dignity. But it starts with noticing. It starts with caring. And it starts with you, right here, right now. Now, before we wrap this up, let's take a moment to go over what we've just covered. Because if you're still watching, that means this matters to you. Let's recap the 5 critical signs that your leg muscles might be wasting away faster than they should. First, waking up with heavy legs. That dragging feeling when you get out of bed? That's your first clue that your muscles might be weakening beneath the surface. Second, those mysterious bruises that appear on your thighs or calves without any real explanation. They're not just random marks. They're signs that the protective padding of muscle is fading, leaving your blood vessels exposed. Third, unexplained balance issues. That shuffle, that sudden stumble when you turn too fast. It's not just clumsiness. It could be your legs losing their strength to keep you steady. Fourth, a shrinking waistline paired with growing weakness. When your clothes start fitting looser, but you don't feel stronger. That's not fat loss, that's muscle disappearing. And fifth, feeling utterly exhausted after the simplest tasks. When vacuuming one room or climbing a few steps leaves you breathless, it's time to pay attention. If any of these sound familiar, to you, your spouse, your parent, or anyone you care about, it's time to act. Don't wait for a doctor to point it out. Don't wait for a fall to make you take it seriously. Start with that morning protein. Start with small daily movements. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about doing something, consistently. And I'd love to know, which of these signs have you or someone you love experienced? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one because here at Elderly Spring, this isn't just information. It's a conversation. We're building a community of people who want to age well, live strong, and stay independent for as long as possible. So if you found this video helpful, even in the smallest way, do me a favor, hit that like button. When you do, it helps this video reach more people who need to hear it. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to Elderly Spring, because every week, we're sharing real, practical ways to protect your health, your body, and your dignity as you age. You deserve that. Thank you for watching. Remember, aging is natural, but weakness, that doesn't have to be your story. Stay informed, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video, right here on Elderly Spring. Oh, and one more thing before you go. Did you know there's a daily habit, something most people over 60 do without thinking, that could actually be draining your energy faster than anything else? Yeah, that's coming up next. Make sure you subscribe, because you won't want to miss it.